Fun fact, apparently some people get very confused about my name in game right now, so I change my summoner name every now and then to shrug off getting recognized. The last one, Crazy Taxi Enjoy, started to get recognized a lot, so I changed it again, and I already thought of this name a while ago. People seem to think it's just the word degenerate with a W in it to seem more ooh-woo. That's a word, that's a sentence I've said now. No, there's a Gwen there. That's the pun. That's the entire name. That's it. Anyway, yeah, Gwen's like one of my favorite champs in the game. Like that thing I said when she came out and was like she's one of the best champs made since Jhin. Yeah, I still think that. In fact, you know what? With recent itemization with Gale Force and just the mess of the past few years of the shop reworks and items overhauls and stuff, yeah, I don't like Jhin anymore. So, how do we celebrate that? By playing some Gwen top, which I don't play that often, but we'll go for it. And I typically would say to play Gwen much more passive, especially if you're not used to playing her. Because your early game is not that crazy good stuff that people would have been used to when she came out, because she had 40% attack speed and an on-hit effect on one ability level 1, kind of crazy. We don't do that anymore. When you play her top, in fact, when you play Gwen in general, it's usually best to go Conqueror. I can agree with that, and that will typically be better than anything like Grasp or Fleet, which may have had some reason to take it back when she was a bit more powerful. But now that your E is on a higher cooldown, now that you definitely prefer long trades, you don't want to be taking any kind of poke rune. Fleet can be okay. I think I've played some Gwen mid recently, and I still take Fleet on that. And I have occasionally taken Lethal Tempo, more so to meme than anything else, because I decided to build Kraken Slayer for some stupid reason. Not a good build, by the way. It's not worth it. Anything that isn't AP Gwen tends not to be worth it. Despite how she may seem like she has affinities with AD, you miss out simply too much, and she has too little utility to justify it. AD Caston makes more sense than AD Gwen, despite her attack speed steroid. Okay, going up against Camille. Camille has really good kind of choice and short trades. Her long trades are okay as well. Oh, okay. They're really good because of the grasp stacks and the Q. So you want to be making sure that she's never able to get a second Q on you. If she does a first Q, get out of there. If she engages you to do a first Q, then you should be able to get out. If she uses her first Q on minions, then you can assume that she may try to hit you, because Gwen has the mobility through E. As long as you've got that off cooldown, you'll be able to dodge her advancement. Because then otherwise she's going to stun you, probably Q you immediately, or land W, auto Q you, all this good stuff. Lots of Camilles like Grasp these days, so if they land 2 of those, they have 100% win the trade. You don't want that. What you can do is, whilst you're just kind of last hitting, you can seek to punish or trade back to her with the Q, with a stacked Q, with a QE or something like that, and that will usually do so much damage that any small amount of damage they can do back to you is not going to be enough. She would need to get, like, a few more hits in. At this point, playing very defensively, focusing on farming. Hello. Thank you. Apparently I had 0 CS, and everyone had 0 CS according to the scoreboard. Just riot things. So we start with Doran Shield because we want to stay in lane for a long time. If I have teleports, which I do, then I'd like to go Corrupting Pot because I can easily refill it. I'm not sure if that's a really popular idea on Gwen, but I like it. Especially matchup dependent. If it is someone I'm going to trade with, Corrupting Pot is really nice. If it's someone I want to be really defensive with, then Doran Shield's long-term sustain is great. Now, we got a massive wave here. I missed Q completely, but it's fine. We were trying to push the lane, of course. We weren't trying to hit Camille at all. But now that we got the wave, she cannot possibly think of trading with me, even with Qs, because then we can just walk backwards and essentially kite while attacking her. Not at all, because our minions will do that for us. We can take this and go back. She's got her Sheen, a decent little power spike on her, and we're going for AP. I always find AP is much better than like recurve bow first. Also, you may have noticed in the thumbnail, our mythic is a little weird. Liandry's. Honestly, we are playing League of Liandrys at the moment. Everyone can just play Liandrys. You can play an AP bot lane, take Liandrys. You can just play anyone, put a Liandrys on it. It scales with the enemy. It scales with their health. It scales with AP. If you have dots, then you can apply Liandrys more. I hate Liandrys. I hate what they've done. Like, I thought it was slightly annoying in the past, and it's only gotten more powerful. So I don't like it. But I decided I'll just build it. There's no real reason to do so. They aren't particularly tanky, which is the real purpose of Liandry's. Gwen isn't exactly amazing with Liandry's, but it does give ability haste, so it does have that going for it. I could have bought absolutely any mythic this game, or none at all. I don't like going mythics first on Gwen, so you're not going to see it for a while. And we're going to go for the, what do you call it? Nash's 2 first. I like Nash's 2 the most. I always max Q on Gwen now. Maxing E is not worth it. You won't reap the rewards quick enough. I mean, we missed most of our Qs here because I didn't assume she'd do that. But because we got the minion advantage, I'm also going to ult, and we got the Conqueror. She pops her Ignite. I don't have one. I don't need one. Minion damage, and I was going to say, never mind. Not going to make the reference I was going to do. I need to stop with these niche references. Don't ask me in the comments because I'll forget what I was on about. But yes, the minion damage would do the rest, and all of our healing from passive would be fine enough. That's the reason I don't like Riftmaker either. I think Gwen's got enough healing. Sometimes I go Riftmaker, like in another game I'm going to do in a replay very soon. I don't know. I like damage. There's also a meme, almost a brain fart build we'd be doing on Gwen that I'm actually starting to unironically really like and kind of main. I might just be getting away with it several times in a row. But it seems kind of hilarious, and I've been having a lot of fun with doing a lot of damage with Gwen. Everyone says she has low ratios. I beg to differ. Anyway, got our recurve bow and our blasting one. That's going to go into Nash's Tooth, of course. Really powerful item on Gwen for many reasons. High AP means, like we were just on about, her scalings are actually kind of good. And increasing attack speed means more passive procs, means more E on hit damage, which both also scale with AP. Nash's Tooth is a wonderful fit on Gwen. Only problem is that it's squishy, so you need to choose your fights wisely and make good use of your W in order to not die while you use Nash's. Of course, your sustain helps as well, but enemies with Ignite and or Grievous Wounds, which is less common now, will make that less reliable. I never rely on Gwen's healing, I just enjoy it as an extra perk. We found him on, well, I warded Rift Herald, so I'm just going to charge in, go for it. Again, I've got ults. When you've got ult with Gwen, you can basically take anyone on. It will give you so much healing with so many passive procs, slow the enemy so you can definitely land your Q, which in turn gives you more passive procs. And it's very fun. We're going to go for a little bit of a cheeky play here. We just kind of go straight in. Land stun, immediately hit this. And it's kind of hard to hit them because they're behind the tower, and it's really difficult to click someone like that. I think there is a click champions only hotkey, which I either need to bind or remember what it is. Because I can never remember it in the moment. Anyway, 3-0, Nash's 2. We're having a good game today. We've got Tabbies as well. I like Lucids mostly on Gwen. But as you can see, the enemy is completely full AD besides the funny AP Ash they got there. Who's actually going for Liandry's rather than, was it? Not Banner Command. You know what I'm on about. The item people like applies like an on-hit on spell effects, which other people can proc. You know the one. Can't be bothered to look it up right now. And we're doing a replay. So because Camille's decided to freeze it down by her turret, I'm going to go ahead and use that big boy Nash's Tooth attack speed and AP to push the mid tower and get that. Now we pop a control ward here just to make sure that she can't see me coming. But in the end, I'm just going to end up taking this wave anyway. Allowing it to crash here, which is going to push both from just the lane positioning and from the number of minions. Except I'm not actually going to do that. I'm going to push. Haha, gotcha. Because Camille didn't come back. She's gone. She's gone to Rome, I think. Yep, she died. That's why. If not, if she planned on staying to farm, then I would have, like you would with a Nasus, I'd freeze it on my tower so she cannot do anything, because if she tries it, she would die immediately. And there you go. Get a tower. Because she decided to roam and die. Risky roams like that, they're not worth it in top lane. Unless, like, if the enemies are ahead, and your laner is ahead, you should just sit in a bush, take whatever XP you... Mastery 7, even when no one is watching. You should just get the XP. Like, if you can, just don't let your tower die. Obviously, she got heralded and dived, so that doesn't really help. But, like, if you start losing in top lane, just take the L and get the XP that your enemy lets you get. Take any CS they let you get. Defend your tower as necessary. That's so you can continue taking XP. If they take the tower and now you have a really long way to run if it ever is pushed, and they can kill you, it's not worth it. You want to get that XP. The XP matters more than your CS almost. Kinda. You want the CS as well, but sometimes you gotta be like, okay, sure, I'll take some XP and you won't let me farm. That's okay, buddy. I'd rather that than die. Because you can blame junglers and stuff as much as you want, but sometimes that just doesn't happen. Here's our Cosmic Drive, my usual favorite common item pairing. Nash's Tooth, Cosmic Drive, first 2 items on Gwen, goes really well. We're just kind of being here right now. They're going to engage with 2 ultimates, so I've got to back away. We've got Volibear covering for the Camille. The Camille's kind of useless, but she's teleported in. And we can just hit them, do damage here. Unfortunately, she'll get away and she's back up from this Wukong, who doesn't have ult anymore. Could have killed him, actually, but he did a little bit of a clone juke there, I guess you could say, by, you know, standing still. The ancient Wuju tactic. In fact, I could have probably killed them all, if I had ult. Which I do. So I could have killed them all in hindsight, but, you know, you don't want to int. You don't want to throw your lead. You got a massive shutdown. But if you know you can do it, that's the difference between a really experienced player and someone, or experienced and confident player, versus someone who, you know, isn't. There you go. Push a bit more. We're really fed 22 to 10. But I did well, so it's okay. Back we go. Now we're getting Lost Chapter, and we're going to go for that Liandry's, because, you know what, why not? Other Lost Chapter options are Everfrost, which is really good. Shattered Queen, which I have never had success with. It always feels really underwhelming, and the damage loss is just too much, and it sounds better than it is on Gwen. Everfrost is pretty nice, because extra lockdown means extra Qs. It's not as good anymore, I think. There are other options I like. And then there's Ludens, which would be better than Liandry's, I think. But Liandry's was never good in the first place for Gwen, in particular. Obviously not bad, it's just, that's not really saying much. Gwen really doesn't have mana issues, I really find. Laning phase, all you need is presence of mind and you'll be okay. So I never need mana. Therefore, for a Magic Pen option, I'd rather have Protobelt. The extra move speed towards enemies is something that Gwen really likes, because a lot of the times she struggles to keep up with enemies, or rather catch an enemy who is outside of her immediate E-range. Other than that, you're relying on landing a rather slow ranged ultimate to get the first slow on them, that's how you can actually catch up. Other mythic options are things like Frostfire, which I really like still, and technically would be really good right now. But a lot of the time you have no shortage of tanks. Or bruisers, I guess. So rather than go for another one, I'd rather just do what Gwen does best and absolutely destroy tanks. It's been hilarious. In fact, there was a recent game where I did just that. I can't remember if it was on stream or not, but hopefully you'll get to see it quite soon. If I remembered about it. I might not have, I don't know. Waiting for the enemies to push up as... what just happened? I don't know. Pick up the wave, finish that Liandry's. Now we have a bit of extra ability haste. It's a stupid item. It's not particularly good on Gwen, but it'll absolutely do the job of something. It's technically got some effectiveness against Camille and Wukong there, but Magic Pen would have been better. Which is really weird to say, but remember, only 50% free damage conversion on Q now, not 100 and not 75. I kind of go a bit crazy here, so we're going to have to flash out. Also, flash on Gwen was a mistake by me. I usually don't take that. These days I like Ghost. But it does technically save me there, so I'm happy I have it right now. Although it was from a completely stupid decision, which I shouldn't be making in the first place. We're going to sit around, get this red buff, which gives me some extra regen, take all the jungle monsters from the enemy team, since there's no point in staying. Although my health regens with the red buff, I'm going to recall and work towards what looks like a Zonia's. Could be anything though. Could be a Frozen Heart, that'd be good. Not particularly on Gwen for the mana, but, you know, it would be good in general. We've got one on Volibear, so no need. Definitely Grievous Wounds right now, because our team doesn't have any, would be pretty good. But with the enemy team all the way at the inhib, and, you know, jungler dead, easy to call the Baron. So always do EW on Baron, because it's so easy to do, and Baron actually does damage. I highly recommend, if you're not good at that, to go into Practice Tool, go up to Gromp, and try doing EW lots of times. Don't actually kill the Gromp, but try and, you know, attack it for long enough so Gromp attacks you, and you can see if Gwen is immune or not when Gromp attacks you. You can, of course, do this with Dragon, Baron. I wouldn't do it with Rift Herald because it does a charge. Go ahead, T-pose on these guys. kind of waiting to catch someone out who wants to do dragon. Now, these guys are lined up for an ultimate. They did check us in the bush, so the Rumble ult doesn't actually hit many people because they would rather be the aggressors here, apparently, despite their stat disadvantage. Go ahead, hit them. Now, we've landed the first critical Gwen E, which means that we can just keep resetting it. It's a bit like Fiora. I'd say Fiora's is much better because it auto targets, rather than having you need to auto attack. And Fiora also technically has percentage max HP true damage, which Gwen doesn't have, and Fiora has way more true damage than Gwen at this point. At least in laning phase. Go ahead, let the Baron minions do everything. Do a little emoting because we're a TF2 player. With the wave, go ahead and try to get the last hit on the Nexus. I really like playing Gwen. She's an auto-attacker, and as you know, I really like auto-attackers, especially melee ones that happen to have sustain, attack speed steroids, and dashes, like a certain old Aatrox, but Gwen is definitely doing something for it. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Really need to work on that main channel content. Thanks for watching. See ya.